Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Made by Faith. I'm Joelle. If you don't know me, probably everyone that's watching this is either a family member or a friend, so you should be fine and already know me. But I just want to go through my process of being injured. This last year, I hurt my knee in a softball game. I tore my lateral meniscus and partially tore my ACL, and I had to have surgery. But I'll get into that in a little bit. So the beginning of the year, we came back from Christmas break a little bit early and we went on a hike. Every year, well, the last 2 years since I've been here, we've done something as team bonding before the season, and this year we hiked 3 mountains and had a bunch of workouts in between, and at the end we came together and each person picked a word for the year. Prior to this, I knew we were going to have to pick a word, and I was praying about it, and I picked the word serve. I just felt the Lord put it on my heart. I have been able to be a member of FCA and also be a leader on the team for the last year and a half, and that's been an amazing experience. I've also been able to be on the leadership team for my softball team, which has been so cool, and been able to walk through that. So I really thought that God was going to use that word to help me grow in these areas of my life where I wasn't just going to play for myself or go and do things for FCA by myself, for myself, but for my teammates and for my fellow classmates. So yeah, that's my word, and the Lord kind of used it for a greater purpose. And yeah, my first game, my coach came up to me, and last year I struggled a lot with anxiety and fear of failure, pressure from myself, and I just really struggled mentally last year. It was really hard to even play a game without any of those thoughts creeping in, and I never played to the fullness of my potential because all of these mental battles that I was having. Physically, I was solid. I felt very healthy. I was working out every day, just feeling like the best I could ever be, but mentally I was really struggling. And so when my coach came up to me, my catching coach, the first game of the season, she was asking how I was doing. And I felt, I've never felt more confident with my answer. I just told her how full of peace I was and how I was just so excited to play, and that I just felt so confident, not in myself, but in the Lord. And I knew that all these fears and all these anxieties weren't going to affect my game this year. And so that was just really cool because I was praying about that pretty much the majority of the weeks leading up to season, because I was really nervous that this was going to affect me again. And I just kind of declared the day before game that this wasn't going to play a role in my season this year. So I played that first game. I don't even remember how I hit. I just remember playing so free and just so confident. It was just so cool to just know that the Lord was with me in that, and that I didn't allow the enemy to steal any of my joy during those games. And then leading to the next weekend, it was actually the first game. I went into pinch hit. I walked. Watching those rise balls go by was amazing. So I finally got to get on base. And then my second at bat, I was running to first base, and the girl had her foot over the bag, and when I went to go through the bag, it got caught. My leg got caught in her leg, and I immediately fell. I knew something was wrong. I kind of was just laying there for a second, just kind of like feeling my body. My knee felt really weird, and I immediately knew something was wrong. I tried to stand up, and I kept falling, and I've never experienced that before, and I knew something seriously was wrong, and the trainers just kind of grabbed me and walked me to the dugout, and I've instantly felt fear. I was really, really scared. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just knew something was really wrong. My knee was already 3 sizes too big. It hurt really, really bad. Yeah, and I just kind of knew at that instance my season was over, even though I didn't tell anyone that I felt that way. And I was kind of brushing it off. I was like, oh, I'm fine. I'm sure everything's fine. And even the teammates that had knee injuries came up to me and they're like praying over me, and they kind of knew something was really wrong, but I was like, guys, like, I'm okay, like, I'll be back, don't worry. But deep down I knew I wasn't going to be. And so then fast forwarding a couple weeks, I didn't know what was wrong. I'm not from Arizona, I'm from California, and my insurance wouldn't cover anything over here, so it was really hard to get anything done. And so during this time period, my coach told me that it was probably best if I didn't travel. At the time, he said I needed to just let my knee rest and elevate it, ice it, and hopefully get back soon, because that was probably best for the team. At the time, it made sense, but it was still really, really difficult to not be able to be a part of the team, especially being a part of the leadership team, feeling like I'm supposed to be there with my teammates and help them, but I'm here and I'm just worried about myself. And it was really hard to take that in. But like, I think it was 2 days later after he told me this, I got my MRI results, and the surgeon in Arizona told me the results, and he again told me that I tore my lateral meniscus and that I just need to go in to have a small procedure, and they're just going to remove it, and I'll be up and fine walking immediately after surgery and be able to play in 3 weeks. So it was probably like the best news ever. I was super excited. I came back, told all my teammates, told my coach, told our trainers, and I thought this was an answered prayer. However, I couldn't have the surgery here because my insurance again wouldn't cover it, so I had to go back home. And the surgeon back home saw my MRI results and told me pretty much the worst news, that they were going to repair it. And not only did I tear my meniscus, but I also partially tore my ACL, and there's a possibility that they're gonna have to repair that. And immediately I just kind of started crying in the surgeon's office, and he told me just to prepare that I'm not going to come back for a season. And I think that was the most heartbreaking thing I've heard. I've never been injured in a way that I couldn't participate, couldn't play. And also he told me that I was going to be on crutches for 6 weeks, which I was only on it for 2 weeks, and I was already kind of cheating the system. My trainers don't know this, but I started walking on it in my room and stuff. I just couldn't handle it. So knowing that I was going to have surgery and that I was going to be on crutches for 6 weeks with no weight, I just didn't know what to do. Especially being able to get back to school. I didn't know what that was going to look like. I had school. I was home for spring break trying to get everything done. So yeah, that was really hard. And so had the surgery, everything went well. They fixed it, been on crutches for about 4.5 weeks. But what I really want to focus on is the process of recovery and what it's looked like. Like I've said before, it's been really hard, especially being on crutches in a dorm room, trying to get to classes, going up and down the stairs to my room. It's just, physically, it's very fatiguing. I didn't know it was so hard to get around on crutches, but mentally, it's just been so exhausted. I knew the first week I got back, I was in pain. I was only like 4 days after surgery. I was so tired from trying to get around in classes. I just was trying to go to practice and be there with my team, but mentally I was just so checked out. Again, just like heartbroken, trying to take in what just happened. I went home to get surgery. So Monday I talked to the surgeon, Wednesday I got surgery, and then now I'm back at school Monday, and it just happened so quickly I just wasn't able to take any of it in. And last year my verse was James 2, which is count it all joys, brothers and sisters, for the trials you go through. I just totally butchered that, but anyways, moral story is like count it all joy. And that's kind of what stuck with me this whole process. I remember my coach, Coach Taylor, right when I got hurt, she was telling me to not let the enemy steal any more of my joy, and that's kind of been my anthem through this whole process, because my joy is something that I've always not had to it's something that the enemy took away last season, and I thought I had back this season, and to see it just kind of slowly disappear since getting hurt was really hard, and that God took away the game when I was just starting to understand how to play for him and with him this year, and mentally be in a great headspace, and I really thought it was going to be my year. And so that's been really hard to process. But my teammates have been amazing and really helpful. All the people around me have been really helpful. But again, it's just like really hard to know that you were so close to like having an amazing season and it just kind of got taken away. But God has taught me a lot through this. Not only has he taught me that I don't need softball to glorify him. Yes, it was a platform to glorify him, but it doesn't matter compared to what I have in other areas of my life. And he's been able to use the story of my knee already in so many amazing ways, and to help people and to be able to understand other people that have gone through it, or people that have gotten hurt or getting hurt, or like any of people just having injuries. He's been able to help me better understand what they're going through, but also allow me to help them mentally. And I have been honestly really joyful, and I'm not lying when I say that. Like, I've honestly had a lot of joy in my life since being hurt, even though I've been talking about how I've been really upset and struggling. But in the midst of that, I have had joy, and the Lord's joy is so much greater than the joy that I can get or the joy from other people. But there are times where I'm really sad, and it hits me unexpectedly. I'll just be watching my teammates play softball and I'll just start crying, and that's not normal for me. I'm not like a crier, but it's been like really difficult to walk through that, not being able to play or not being able to contribute in any way. And like I brought up earlier, the word serve, I'm not able to serve my teammates on the field in any capacity because I'm still on grudges, but I've been able to serve them in other ways. Like I said, helping them, those that are through injuries, or those that are walking through mental struggles like I did last year, and being in a place where you're also struggling with that, but helping other people helps you pull out of that too. And so that's been really fun to walk through, and just like a joy to like see the Lord's provision in that. And then also just like different little tasks here and there. It's just things that I would that I hate doing, but I'll do it in an instant because I know it helps out my teammates, and it's teaching me how to be a good servant leader. Yeah, I guess I just am telling you this or posting this on YouTube just to help anyone else that's struggling right now, or those that have walked through injuries or are going through injuries, or anyone that's just struggling with their identity. Just know that it's not in your game, it's not in anything, it's not in your schooling, it's not in someone else, but it's in the Lord. And no matter what happens, what the Lord takes away, your identity's still in him. And yeah, I just want you to know that you're loved no matter what, and your sport doesn't define you, your injury doesn't define you, and you'll get through it. One day it'll pass and you'll learn something amazing. And I was telling some of my teammates that I'm so grateful that I got hurt, because I've been able to learn something through it. And if I didn't get hurt, then I wouldn't have this amazing story. I wouldn't have all these testimonies to help other people with, and I'm grateful for that. And if I get 1 year cut short of softball, like, that's okay, because I learned so many things through it. Even though in the midst I really wish I could be playing, even though I really wish I didn't get hurt, that's been helping me, and so I hope this helps you. Anyways, thanks guys, bye.